Hello smart investors. So in this video we'll be learning how to trade futures using your smartphone. It is a very straightforward process. Remember, none of what we say is financial advice. Always do your own due diligence research. All our videos is for information purposes only. You are responsible for your actions. So this is gate.io exchange. Every other exchange have their futures platform. So what you need to do is go ahead to sign up with gate.io if you have not done so. So we just head straight to the business of the day. So as you can see here, at the bottom of my screen, I have futures. Is that right? So aside from accessing futures through there, you can also click on the icon here to see some of the coins that are trading on futures. So if you click it, it should open a whole list of future markets. Hope that helps. So going back to where we are coming from, and what we want to do is actually to trade futures for a particular coin. Let's say Raca. Is that okay? So I click on what futures and it should take you to this particular screen. Now, this is where the magic happens. Make sure you don't rush to enter a trade. Make sure you've understood the charts. Make sure you've done your analysis, both technical and fundamentals, so that you will not be liquidated. Because if you make any mistake in futures, you can easily get liquidated. Liquidation means losing all your funds. Now, the first thing you have to do when you get to this place is to transfer funds to your futures account. Remember, the funds in your spot account is different from the funds in your futures account. In fact, that separates two of them entirely. So what you need to do is to click here. Here in this case, you either click on that button or you come down to wallets and click on transfer. All right. So when you click on transfer, it will still bring you back to the same place where you are. So I click on this and it should do what? Bring transfer. So I'm transferring from spot to perpetual futures. And what currency am I transferring? I'm transferring USDT. So I now define how much I want to transfer. So I'm actually transferring 20 USDT out of what I have available. Then you hit on what transfer. So once you've transferred, you notice that the amount that you have on your futures account will be reflected. All right, so this is it. So you see it as what? Available. Is that right? Now, the next thing that you're going to do is to make sure that this particular section that says what? Cross and isolated, you select isolated. Isolated means that what? The only amount that you allocate for that particular futures trading is only what you're going to use. All right, so if you want to trade with just 10 USDT, it is 10 USDT that will be used for that trade, be it if you are making profit or loss, or if you eventually get liquidated, it's only your 10 USDT that will be liquidated. If you use cross, eventually, since I moved 20 USDT and I'm trading with 10 USDT, now I'll be left with 10 USDT that is not in the trade. For cross setup, you will notice that once you are almost liquidated, you notice that funds will be moved from that remaining 10 USDT that you have left in your futures balance to the trade, to salvage the trade or to save the trade. Okay, so if you are not ready to risk that funds on your futures account, do well to stay with what? Isolated. So in this case, you are moving with what? Isolated, and we hit what? Okay. But also notice that you must be mindful of the leverage that you use. The leverage is, we have 1x up to what? 20x. I think Binance has up to 50x. Is that right? So you can use this plus to increase it to 6x, or you can type it straight, okay, or you can drag it. All right, so but in this case you are just using 2x. So I hit what? Okay. Is that okay? So my isolated is now what? 2x. Now, just like you buy and sell, also you have limit order and market order and conditional order for futures trading. I don't want this video to get very lengthy, but we are going to do our best. So for market order, that means you want to buy at the market price. For limit order, you want to buy or sell when the price gets to a particular level. For conditional order, you set certain conditions for the trade to be triggered. So let us use market order so that this explanation will actually make sense. So the amount that I want to buy, I actually want to use just 5 USDT. Is that right? So I select how much I want to use. 9% is 1 USDT. So let me say 25%. Okay, let me just type in what 25%. Okay, it's almost 25. So if you notice, 25% is the margin. Is that right? Now look at what we have here. Out of 20 USDT, I'm using, my margin is what? 5 USDT. Is that okay? So why the margin for long is 4.98? I think there are some fees that they do what? Charge. All right, that is why you are having it as that. Okay, so it keeps on increasing. Now the margin is now 4.99. Right, but it's actually what? 5 USDT. Now you can decide to do what? Define your stop order by hitting what? This. Is that okay? So you can decide to take profit when the particular price gets to a particular amount. Now supposing I want to short a particular market, that means I'm expecting the price to go down, and if the price should go down, that means I'm making more gains. Hope you're understanding it. Now many people make a lot of money when the market is going down or when the market is all bearish or in red, right? So but if I'm expecting the price to go up, that means I'm what? Longing that particular token or coin. Is that okay? So I'm longing it, that means I expect the price to go up, and if the price goes up, I will be what? Getting a whole lot of what? Profits. As the case is, I want to long this particular token because I'm expecting the price to go higher. All right, so the current market price is 0.00051. So I want to take profits when the price gets to 0.00052. Is that okay? And I want to stop my losses eventually if the trade didn't go my way. I want to exit the market when the price eventually falls to 4.9. Is that right? So this is 510 now. 4.9 is the same thing as 4.900, whatever zero that is behind it. 4.90 compared to 5.10. All right. Now let me just reduce this a little bit because it's very, very close. All right, because there's what is called stop hunting. So eventually when you become more advanced, you should understand all those terms. So this is what I have here now. My trade is set up and I want to long the market. Is that right? So I click on what? Buy or long. So I go ahead to click on what? Buy or long. Is that okay? So I hit OK, and I'll have to input my phone password for this to be triggered. I'll quickly do that. So it shows what? Success. That means my trade has been what? Triggered. So I go back to my normal home screen and I go back to what? Features. And you should be able to do what? See my trade here. All right. So let us look at what is happening here. Let us look at what is happening here. This is so sweet and interesting. Now, look at the position that I'm holding because I'm using ×2. That is almost $10. But what I entered the trade with is what? $5. That is, my margin is what? $5. So the time I will eventually get to liquidation, or the time I will be liquidated, or the time I will eventually lose all my money is if the price of this Raca moves from the price it is now, 0.000509, to it moves down to 0.00261. All right. Now, this is the amount of Raca that I bought using what? Using my $5, 19,500. Does that make sense? This is my entry price, and this is what? Market price. This one changes, and this is my unrealized profit and loss. This is so interesting. Another thing you can do is to click on this. Is that okay? So clicking on this, it will help you to better set up your trade, and it will show you a kind of a live view of what is happening. 2 times leverage is what we are using, and here it shows you what the entry price that we entered. Sorry, here it shows you the price that we entered, and here it shows you the market price. Is that right? Now we can calculate how much we'll eventually make if we get to a particular amount by imputing it here. Is that right? I can calculate how much we've lost if we eventually impute an arbitrary amount here. Now look at what happens. Let's get to work. Supposing the price of Raca eventually gets towards 0.0006, that means our profit should be what? 1.794 for a 2x leverage position. Is that right? So supposing it gets to maybe 8, this will be our profit. 0.009, this will be our profit. Supposing it eventually cancels 10, this will be our profit. Does that make sense? Alright, remember I want to exit this trade at 0.0052 or thereabouts. Alright, remember this just for illustration purposes. Now supposing the market eventually goes down to 0.00048, we'll have lost about 50 cents or thereabouts. Is that right? So here you can further adjust it to suit your needs. Now supposing it eventually gets down to 0.003, we'll have lost we are almost at liquidation price. Does that make sense? So you can actually play around with this. Please make sure that before you get into all this, you'll have understood what is happening. Right now we are in 1% up trade. Alright, so you can monitor everything here. And at any point in time, you can come and adjust your margin. Is that okay? So you can add more funds to it, supposing you notice that the trade is performing good, and you can come and adjust your stop loss or what have you. Is that okay? This is just seriously very interesting, and you can decide to close position at any time and take profits. Does that make sense? So this is the little about how to trade futures on your smartphone. Hope you got value in this video. If you have any question, drop it in the comment section below. Also like and share this video. Support our channel by smashing that subscribe button right away. Trade responsibly. Peace out.